Well, after the story aired, a concerned veterinarian also contacted Fox 4, saying more needs to be done to stop these kinds of dog attacks.
He says in the last 15 years, canine attack deaths have doubled, and the dangerous breeds are only gaining popularity. He spoke to Foreign Reporter's Kelly Stegeman about stopping the trend.
That's right, guys. A Sanibel veterinarian wrote a book about the subject. He says there are more than 4.5 million dog bites a year in this country. Almost 1 million of those require a hospital visit, and of those, 65% are children simply because they're easy prey. Children like the one this week in North Fort Myers.
The dog just lunged at her without no warning sign, no nothing. Just lunged right at her face.
This recent dog attack on 3-year-old Rain Deering of North Fort Myers is all too familiar to Dr. Mark Methusa. Dr. Methusa is not directly involved in this case.
They're afraid to go outside of their house, and there's something wrong with that.
But much of this Sanibel veterinarian's career has been focused on educating people about dangerous dogs.
You hear people say it's the owners, it's not the breed. Is that the case?
If you look at the statistics, you don't have to ask my opinion.
Under a pen name, Dr. Methusa has authored a book dedicated to the issue called My Dog Doesn't Bite. He looks at data from the American Veterinary Medical Association and other studies.
We're talking about attacks, deaths, maimings. 70% of these occur with primarily two breeds, pit bulls and Rottweilers.
After several attacks on him, he's banned Rottweilers at his clinic. He says, however, this warning is not a witch hunt.
Are all of these dogs in these breeds horrible? No.
Rather, a mix of breed and irresponsible owners. He's calling to strengthen state laws he calls weak for any dog attack.
If you have a dog that severely injures or kills someone, you should be held liable. And if that happened, you would see a lot of these breeds disappear. You know, at least their numbers would decrease significantly.
Dr. Methusa says the number of attacks are on the rise and offers this advice. If you see a dog you don't know, always assume it's aggressive. And parents, if your child is in a situation that makes you nervous, obey your instincts and hope the laws soon change.
The parents of this little girl, they shouldn't have to worry about if their little girl walks outside and if the same thing is going to happen a week from now, a month from now. That shouldn't be.
Lee County Animal Services tells us, generally speaking, it takes one vicious attack on a human before a dog is taken from its owner. Oftentimes, fines are involved rather than jail time. Dr. Methusa says time behind bars is exactly what some of them may need. From the studio, Kelly Stegeman, Fox 4.